Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Critical and welcome back to another Minecraft Snapshot video for Minecraft 1.17. This week we were taking a look at 21w13a and there are so many changes and additions in this snapshot, but we'll talk about all the changes in a second. Look at these guys! Look at the goats! They're so cool looking. You can do a couple of things with these guys. If you grab a bucket, which I thought I'd put in that chest, but I had not, you can milk these guys. So these are a new source of milk alongside cows. And if you want to lead them around and stuff, you got to use wheat. They'll follow you around if you've got wheat in your hand. And this is also, of course, how you breed them as well. And the baby goats, look at how cute. The baby goats don't have the horns, and they're adorable. They're so adorable. These guys will, of course, jump around. They spawn, I believe at the moment, in extreme hills biomes. The mountain biomes are not in the game yet. We've just added the goats. But these guys are super cool. We'll fly around a little bit and try to find some spawning naturally. But before we do that... Oh no, I punched one. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Before we do that, let's take a look at some of the other changes that have been made in this snapshot. So there's a couple of changes to loot tables here. I don't have the trades actually pulled up, but... oh wait, there's one. Moss blocks can now be purchased from the Wandering Trader, along with pointed dripstone and rooted dirt. So this guy will now sell all three of those things as option in his loot table. And the Mason will now sell dripstone blocks as well. He has a chance to have those pop up in some of the later levels too. For the Shipwreck Chests, these are the ones that spawn in the boats underwater. These now have a chance to have moss blocks in them. And for the minecart chests and the mine shafts, these now have a chance to have glowberries in them. So just a couple of loot table changes to kind of keep everything updated with the new snapshots and stuff as they move forward. I'm sure we'll see some more of this stuff as we keep going. There have been a lot of changes made to powdered snow, and I'm probably going to have to get a sword out because these guys are going to start killing each other here in a second. So first and foremost, the actual time that it takes for a mob to freeze has been lowered. If we drop this guy down here, it should only take about 7 seconds for him to fully freeze. And then once that happens, you can see now there's a little bit of shaking, and it only takes 2 seconds for a mob to start taking damage. So it's pretty quick now, the time that you get frozen and start dying. I gotta take him out. Other than that, there have been some other changes as well. These three mobs here, mobs that are basically already frozen, no longer take freezing damage. So if I drop these guys down into here, you can see, well, he kind of killed my example, but you can see that these guys aren't going to freeze after that amount of time. They're not even going to start shaking. That no longer occurs. This is actually a feature I didn't know about, but this is not new. It's just that the time has been changed. Skeletons will turn into strays when frozen, and this has been lowered to 7 seconds now instead of 30 seconds to match the new freezing time. So as soon as this guy freezes, he's going to convert to a stray to match that. And you can see that he's shaking a little bit here, and in just a moment he should convert. Maybe? Maybe? Perhaps? There he goes. Okay, so a little bit longer, but a lot quicker than the 30 seconds that it was before. I didn't mean to punch him. All fire mobs, and at the moment I've just got Blaze, Magma Cube, and Strider here, for example, but all of the fire-based mobs now take additional damage in the freezing stuff when they actually get frozen. So after a couple of seconds here, these guys, I believe, take double damage compared to normal mobs. And you can see the Magma Cube died instantly, and these guys should die, yeah, super quick. I don't know if you can place this in the nether. I'm going to guess not, but if you could, that'd be a great way to get up some blaze farms and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. But there have been a lot of other changes as well, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of those. First of all, I'm going to head into spectator mode. And we're going to go down here, and we're going to go all the way to about Y15. And you can see here that there's a little bit of this deep slate a little higher than it would normally be. You can see this is at 9. Between levels 0 and 15, these can now spawn as blobs, much like the granite and the andesite do. Those will now spawn as blobs. I think that's just to add a little bit of an extra transition as you get closer. Just kind of a visual change to let you know that you're nearing the lower parts of the world. And of course, once you get down to 0, it will all switch over. But this just gives you a bit more of a visual. You can see here where you can glance and be like, oh, I'm pretty close to the basement, because I can see that. I refer to it as the basement. You know what I mean. In addition to this, there have been some changes to mob spawning in general, and that is that glow squids and the axolotls will now both spawn in caves, which is awesome. I didn't know the glow squids were going to spawn in caves. I think that's a really cool decision. Kind of ties them into this this update pretty well. And I was going to fly around and try to find some, but I don't see any large pockets of water. They have made the caves back to the massive ones that we had before. Those will pop up once again. I think here's a good example of some of the larger ones that they previously, I think, lessened the chance of or possibly removed. Those have been added back in for the sake of these being huge. And I really don't see any water caves. I was going to try and show you guys. Ah, here we go. Let's see if we can get any squids or anything spawning in one of these here. This is generally where they would pop up. I don't know if the axolotls actually spawn in these. I think they're supposed to only spawn in the lush cave biomes. But it did say that they would randomly spawn. I'm just not seeing any here. But I'm going to go ahead and spawn a couple just so that you guys can see what this would look like if you had these guys in here. I'll throw a couple of these guys around. This is probably more than you'd end up seeing, but let's see here. Whoops. Yeah, you can imagine having those guys swimming around underwater is going to look pretty cool, and I think it's going to add quite a bit to the caves and stuff, especially when you're down here. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. You gotta admit that's pretty cool. Even if you weren't excited about the glow squids, this is pretty freaking cool. And their resource is now much more difficult to find. Oh, look, this one's naturally spawned. I didn't spawn that one in. Oh, and that guy's natural too. There you go. There's some. They're flying around here. And there's some diamond in here. There's some bubbles. There's fish. This is so freaking ambient. This is awesome. I love this so much. This is so cool. But yeah, so that is some of the new changes to mob spawning. That is, for the most part, all the additions in this. There are a lot of you know, like more cave tweaks and ore tweaks. There is a new creative block for those of you that play in creative, which I will show you in just a second if I find some land. There is now a light block. I don't actually know what it's called. It's just called light. Let's see. It's just called light. It's just a light. It's just a light source, and if you right-click it while holding a light, it'll actually adjust the light source, and you can see here that you can now just generate light however you please, which is awesome for creative building. Because imagine building like a lamppost, and it doesn't quite cast down onto the street, but then you can just add this here, and it looks like it's casting down to the street, and it doesn't have that little those little particles unless you're holding this. It's like the barrier blocks. You know how they only appear if you're holding the barrier block? That's what it's doing. That is so cool for creative builds. I'm actually really, really excited about this for that reason. But and you can see here, it's not even, you can't even hover over it. It's not like the barrier blocks where you can see an outline. It just does not exist until you're holding this, at which point it pops up there. So I think that's pretty cool. But let's head to a mountain biome / locate biome. Mountains. And let's teleport here real quick. And I just want to see, well, we're underground. This is nice. I just want to see real quick if we can see any goats spawning. They might not spawn, but I was hoping to get a glimpse of them kind of in their natural habitat. See if we can find any. I also don't know... I don't know if they spawn at a certain... No, there's some right there. Look at that. There's a little family of them down here. We got one of the baby ones. There's a closer look at the little baby. So cute. Oh my goodness. And then a couple of the adults. So that's pretty cool. Those now spawn in mountains. Mountains now have, I think, the most unique number of passive mobs, because they've got two mobs that pretty much only spawn in these. I don't think llamas spawn anywhere else but mountains. So that's pretty cool. But that is going to do it for this snapshot video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content. And yeah, check the description for links to the blog post and all of my socials as well. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.